Known as one of the most notorious emperors of ancient Rome, Caligula was born into a prestigious family with roots in the Roman Empire. Caligula's reign was marked by a complex web of political intrigue, cruel rule, and extravagant indulgence. Would you like to hear about him from me? If you are ready with your coffee and in front of your screens, here we go. Caligula, whose real name was Gaius Julius Caesar Augustus Germanicus, was born in Antium on August 31st in 12 AD. The city of Antium is now known as Anzio. He was of illustrious lineage, the son of Germanicus, a highly respected Roman general, and Agrippina the Elder, the granddaughter of Emperor Augustus. As a young man, Caligula had the privilege of moving among Rome's elite. He received a good education, learning the arts of oratory, philosophy, and military strategy. However, he was also greatly influenced by his great-uncle and predecessor Tiberius, who was not a shining example of moral integrity. After the death of Tiberius in 37 AD, Caligula's ascension to the throne was not widely expected. The emperor's personal bodyguards, the Praetorian Guard, declared him emperor, much to the surprise of the Senate. Caligula wasted no time in consolidating his power and making a name for himself. And indeed, he soon made a name for himself. Caligula had a talent for making things interesting. He implemented some political reforms and administrative policies that confused the Romans. From appointing his horse Incitatus as consul to expanding the powers of the emperor, Caligula really believed in pushing the envelope. Caligula was not content with just political reforms. He also set his sights on expanding the Roman Empire. He considered himself a military genius and dreamed of conquering Britain. Caligula had a passion for architecture and building projects, although some might argue that he had extravagant taste. He built lavish palaces, including the famous Golden House that covered much of Rome. He also initiated ambitious infrastructure development projects such as aqueducts and harbors that added splendor to the empire. Caligula was not one to tolerate opposition. He quickly tired of anyone who dared to oppose him, including senators, courtiers, and even the gods. He often resorted to exile, execution, or public humiliation to silence his critics. When it came to punishments, Caligula was a true innovator. From forcing people to run for miles in heavy armor to fighting wild animals in the arena, he had an uncanny ability to turn cruelty into an art form. Caligula was on good terms with the Roman nobility. He had a talent for squeezing noble families, demanding exorbitant amounts of money and gifts. And those who refused, let's put it this way, they suddenly found themselves facing all sorts of pleasant consequences. It was certainly a financial investment to be on Caligula's good side. Caligula had expensive tastes and didn't care who footed the bill. From throwing lavish parties to indulging in extravagant meals, he knew how to live the high life. When it came to living arrangements, Caligula spared no expense. His palaces were opulent, filled with exquisite works of art, luxurious furniture, and all the trappings of excess. He was also fond of extravagant entertainment, hosting wild parties and putting on extravagant shows to entertain his guests. Let's just say there were never dull evenings. Caligula's reign was marked by indulgence, madness, and dramatic flair. His eccentricities left a lasting impression on Roman history and immortalized him as one of the most colorful and notorious emperors the empire has ever known. Caligula is notorious for his alleged cases of insanity and eccentric behavior. According to historical accounts, he developed a fascination with power and often committed cruel and sadistic acts. Before we take a brief look at these acts, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. His first complex was about his own appearance, so his first sadistic acts began when he shaved the hair of everyone around him because of his own baldness. He then had statues of gods brought from many parts of the country, and instead of their heads, he had his own head mounted. He declared himself God, and then ordered people to sacrifice to him. It is among the interesting information passed down to us by Roman historians that he disguised himself as every god and goddess and wore women's dresses in the palace. We also know that he landed on the sea because he had a quarrel with the god Neptune and had the seashells on the beach collected as booty. Caligula, who is also known to have had perverted relationships, is most notable for his relationship with his sister. He impregnated his own sister Drusilla, and before the birth, he had his sister's abdomen opened and declared the fetus to be a demigod. After his sister dies, he declares mourning. During this mourning period, he forbids the people of Rome to laugh, to eat together as a family, to talk to each other on the street, and to bathe. He had his engineers build special torture devices that could dislocate almost every bone in the body. He loved to watch these tortures at the table, especially at mealtime. He forced the wives and daughters of powerful people in the Senate to work in the brothel he had opened. At the opening of this brothel, he addressed the Romans. "People of Rome, look what gifts your God has brought for you. I give you the families of all the senators, and for a small price you can play as you like." You can see that he doesn't like senators. That's why he wanted to make his only friend, his horse, a senator. He even built a special palace for him. Roman historians recorded that he sometimes slept with his horse. We also know that he made senators run with him while he rode his horse. Sometimes he dressed these senators in women's clothes and made them dance, and he took great pleasure in this. Caligula was also interested in the gladiatorial fights we know from Roman history. Of course, with Caligula's difference. He enjoyed the fights of old and disabled people more than professional fighters. Since he considered himself a great master of war, it was unthinkable for him to accept anyone as a rival. That's why he disliked the general Pracus. But Pracus is a very honorable and honest man. One day he said in a speech, "You are an honest man, Pracus. That is why you cannot be a true Roman. I arrest you for treason." He finds the formula to get rid of Pracus. Let's end with a sense of humor about what Caligula did. He would invite senators to dinner, put his urine in the food, or have them serve the meat of someone he had killed. After the meal was over, he would explain what he had done and watch the guests vomit and feel disgusted. He took great pleasure in this state of the guests. He took great. These stories of his erratic behavior contributed to the enduring image of Caligula as a mad emperor. While these stories are not fully substantiated, they add to the mystery and intrigue surrounding Caligula's reign. As Caligula's tyrannical rule continued, opposition to him grew. Many senators and conspirators saw him as a threat to the stability and traditions of the Roman Empire. Conspiracy theories and plots against Caligula began to circulate, and some senators even discussed the possibility of restoring the Roman Republic. In 41 AD, a group of conspirators, including the Praetorian Guard, successfully assassinated Caligula. They attacked him while he was participating in a series of games, ending his reign and putting an end to his despotic rule. This act of violence marked a crucial turning point in Roman history. Following the assassination of Caligula, a succession crisis arose. The Praetorian Guard, responsible for the protection of the emperor, played a vital role in determining the new ruler. Eventually, Caligula's uncle Claudius emerged as the new emperor, marking the beginning of his own eventful reign. Caligula's assassination was a reminder of the volatile nature of power in ancient Rome and the potential consequences for those who abuse it. The intriguing story of Caligula has permeated popular culture through various books, movies, and plays about his life and reign. From literature to modern media, the figure of Caligula has become a symbol of excess, tyranny, and madness. While it is debatable to what extent these portrayals accurately reflect historical reality, They have undoubtedly contributed to the continued fascination with one of Rome's most controversial emperors. All in all, Caligula's life was a dark and turbulent period in Roman history. From his early rise to power to the notoriety he gained during his reign, Caligula's story is one of intrigue, cruelty, and excess. Although his reign has been marred by tyranny and his personal vices have become legendary, Caligula's legacy continues to fascinate historians and scholars. His reign serves as a cautionary tale about absolute power and the consequences it can have on individuals and societies. Thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Share your thoughts and ideas about the video with us in the comments section. You can also turn on notifications to get more content and be part of our community. See you in the next video.